Hi, this is Catherine Morgan, and this is the depression discussions, the conversation we need to keep having. I started this because we talk about depression when we've lost somebody or when there's been some crisis, and then we all go back to our corners and we don't continue the discussion. Today, I'm fortunate enough to have my friend Jon-David of Mafia Hairdresser fame. Hi, Jon-David.
Hi, Catherine.
I know that you've been open about some struggles that you've had, and I think that, people would benefit from hearing your story.
Yeah, my story has everything to do with my work, my life up to this point, as I think a lot of people's depression stems from. And my personal story is really, it stemmed from my work with and in social media and what I saw was happening to the public. And I kind of let it happen to me as well.
Hmm. In what way? I mean, social media as in compare despair, or as in trying to put on a happy face?
Well, I think social media is nothing but putting on a happy face or a spin, as you will. I think each of us on social media, whether we are a brand or a company, are putting on a happy face. It is all spin. It is all social media, fake news, if you will. And I've been in the social media business since about 2008, 2009, when I started promoting my book, Mafia Hairdresser, when I self-published. I got really good at it and began helping people. I'm a hairdresser still, maybe 20% of the time, and the rest of 80% of the time for the past decade, I've been doing social media, helping companies, and I did consulting, and I did social media for people, and I saw the writing on the wall. That is going away. The small business guy, the brick and mortars, the guy who wants to open a cookie shop, they're all going away to big businesses, big block businesses, and it's all going online. And the big brands have all the money to have all the programs, all these expensive tools that they need to promote their customers. And us small guys can't do that, although we can do great things with content and so forth. So I saw the writing on the wall that my position in social media was going to go the wayside. As many of us, you and I both know, Catherine, many people in the social media realm, if we didn't sign on with a big company, our businesses are going downhill, right?
Mm.
So I kind of, as an experiment, acted on social media like the regular person. I was on Facebook after the 2016 election of President Trump, and I just started posting like everyone else posting, and I was watching like everyone else watches, and I got really sad after a year of that, because I gave myself a year. I got depressed. I saw the world horribly. I saw the world as people on social media or that watch social media do. I thought people were bad. I was disgusted with my own society. I was disgusted with white women who voted for President Trump. I was disgusted with my friends and family who didn't see what I saw, but of course they were seeing what their algorithms on their social media platforms were showing. So that's how I fell into depression.
I think a lot of us were there with you or are there with you. I mean, your stream is showing stuff all day long, and as much as you try and control it or attention shift, I mean, you're just barraged with all the stuff. And there's, social media in some ways has kept us connected, and in some way has kept us so disconnected and isolated and lonely. And I think that feeds depression.
To that point, I think we both agree on the other point of our algorithms and what we're seeing in our feeds, and our Apple News gives us exactly what agrees with us. But in that point that social media brings people together, we have to agree and disagree at the same time that it doesn't actually physically bring us together, which is the problem. We don't have as many physical connections, and when we do, we're on this thing, we're like this, and we're Googling what, Catherine will say something interesting. Oh, I disagree, I'll Google that. And so it's a disruption in actual communication. So that's another separation, even when you're with somebody. So I think that's a big problem. And the young people, the young whippersnappers, they, they don't have the social skills that you and I have. And if we don't use our social skills, you and I would get sad and sadder. And I just don't know what it's like for those young people. I don't know what that generation is going to be like, because they're so used to hooking up extraneously, superficially, or not superficially via apps and so forth. I don't know what they're going to be like.
My guess is that they're going to go hyper local. They're going to be hyper connected externally, and then have small, almost salons or dinner parties or something, because as humans, we need connection. We need attachment, where social media can actually be super helpful. And you and I have seen this firsthand, all those SobCon connections we made, and we followed each other on Twitter, and we interacted in social media.
And we helped each other in business. It was excellent.
And then we had that face-to-face time. The face-to-face combined with the social media can really lead to true connection, I think.
That's true. And when you and I had started in social media, 2008, 2009, 2010, we would have tweet ups, which people are like, what? Yep. And we would have, we would have that number one golden rule about social media, and that was to take it offline as soon as possible. We all said that, and that's what we did. And I just don't think I would even have time to take it offline as soon as possible anymore. I think we're all on this hamster wheel, and then we go to social media to stay connected. And now I'm just depressed and sidelined by hours of, monkey videos and kitty videos and things that make me smile. And an hour goes by and I go, oh my God, I'm not going to go to the gym, and I hate myself, and, on and on and on.
Yeah, I hear you. The social media time suck, or as our friend Barry Molt calls it, the worldwide waste of time.
It is. Yeah.
And I'll cop to the fact that I spend a lot of time on it, but the way I justify it now is I actually don't even call that business time. Like, that's my social time. I don't even put it in the business bucket.
Yeah, I think if I were to write a course on, like I always thought I would do a 30-day detox course, but I've kind of, I'm pulling back away from social media in general, just not for business-wise, but personal-wise, not for self-preservation, but because after last year and being depressed, and I was lucky enough, I did not go get professional help. I just told my friends who suffer from depression that I was depressed. And of course, no one believed me. That was number one.
You're the happy guy. You're the happy social guy. You're out, you're seeing people, you're doing fun stuff. You have got the world's cutest dog. Like, what does this guy have to be saying?
Wow. And that just goes to show you how good I am at spin online, and how good I was for my clients who paid me to do it for them, to show that. And I was never going to show the depression side, really. But I'm a guy that wants to help people. So, you come clean with this. And for me, how I got out of it was I was a good meditator, and am again. And I used YouTube videos. So anybody watching, use YouTube videos for meditation. It'll take you 3 months to get it, but at least you're climbing the hill of much more health. And of course, working out is great. But I had those tools in my pocket. Plus, as a writer, a fiction writer, sometimes I go into the rabbit hole of depression anyway, and it's a very safe zone for me, because I'm actually crawling into other characters' skins, and that's fun. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just writing and doing hair, and I have 1 or 2 social media clients that pays the rent. And I just figured, I only have one life, so I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to sell a show to Showtime or HBO. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing right now.
So what advice would you have for those of us who have to be on social media for our business? I I have to, or I won't get referrals, or I won't, build the awareness that I want to build. How do we keep our sanity and be, authentic and real, but also not lose our minds in social media?
Well, I think for like news, just first and foremost, news, anything, in this Trump era, I think we have to just say, all right, once per week, I'm going to look at anything that has to do with politics, because the news cycle happens so quickly, and we're not really effective at being an effect in it. So you have to push it aside and just take, say, I'll read the Sunday paper. And it's better to read it not on Facebook or not on Twitter. It's better to read it instead of picking up little bits along the way, because that distracts you, and also it changes your mind about how you feel about yourself or your day or your work per hour. Every time you look at it, you're go, go, go. And then you read something that happened in politics, you go, well, I better join that march this weekend, something you didn't plan on doing a week before. But if you can set it aside and just do news for 1 week out of, just an hour a week, you'll be more effective at being a news gatherer. And you are a discussion person, and I'm a discussion person. You'll be on top of the game. You won't lose any ground. And the other thing is to don't set daily time aside so that you get out of the habit of doing this. Don't set daily time aside for social media and interaction. Set daily time aside to interact with the people who have interacted with your posts that are for business. So that way it really does stay business. And then just pick a few days during the week where you are actually going to let yourself run with it, because it will take you down rabbit holes of things that you did not expect to do. And I think that's a major thing. And the last thing to do is you have to counterbalance it by meditation or exercise or going out to dinner. You have to actually put those things on the calendar to counterbalance your online activity.
Oh my goodness. You're preaching to the choir with that one. I have it literally blocked out in my schedule. Here's this yoga class I go to. Here's this dinner with, our friend Jenny. Here's, I have to make myself do that, especially as an solo business owner. I could be like the crazy person walking around, with my feet in Kleenex boxes and my pajamas all day if I didn't make myself leave.
Yeah, and I think you and I talk specifically a lot, like this program that you're doing right now. I think you and I speak a lot to self workers, entrepreneurs, solo owners. I think we suffer a lot because of what we do. When you're the company owner of a company that does social media, but you have 20 people around you, you never have to touch that stuff. Right. But we do. And I remember when I was a kid, I was 24 years old in downtown Long Beach Redevelopment Center. It was a shithole of a place, and that's not peachy. And so we were so young in this pressure cooker of business owners. I owned a hair salon. My roommate Marcy owned an art gallery. My friend owned a cafe that launched TV stars today, and another restaurant around the corner. And we were all 24 years old, which is weird. And so we hung out like daily, weekly, nightly with each other because it was such a pressure cooker. And I think we need to do that today, us entrepreneurs, and say, we are just going to get together and discuss what we discuss. So that way we don't think we're insane. Like if I hung out with my friends.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is.
For no reason, just to hang out. And then everything else comes up.
Yeah, but then you don't realize that you're like different or broken or damaged or crazy or whatever, because we think we're the only one experiencing this. And I put out, the emotional roller coaster and the lumpy revenue streams of being an entrepreneur, and everybody else is like, high five, girl. I feel it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to have fun and interact, because really that is the part of the journey that we sidestep because we're distracted with social media. That is the part of the journey that that we don't let in because we're depressed, and we don't want other people to know that we're depressed. So we're missing that.
Yeah, and I have found that when you really need to do it might be the time that you absolutely don't want to do it. And that may
Yeah.
be a case when you're like, you know what? I am feeling disconnected. I am feeling a little blue. I really do need to get out of my own head and connect with other people.
Exactly right. I can't even tell you how many times I've forced myself. I don't really want to go to dinner with these people, and going, oh, I have to go to Gibson's again. You know, what's wrong with that sound? It's like I'd rather sit here and write or post more social media stuff, like which is just stuff online. And I go and I force myself to go, and I have the best time ever. And the next day is great. I mean,
Right, and then you're productive and your juices are back and your creativity's going and your words come better and everything's easier.
yeah. We cannot be people in this pool we call life and not know that every ripple we take affects others, whether we lock ourselves in our home or not. We're part of this thing. And I think, honest to God, I think the whole sole reason that humanity exists is to learn how to give and receive love. That is it. I just don't think there's anything else. The journey is you build a business. The journey is you raise a great kid. The journey is you learn how to be a big muscle builder or in a competition. Whatever your truth is, great. But when it all gets down to it, it is the journey, and it is giving and receiving love. That's it.
And I'm ending right there, my friend. Mwah. Thank you so much for being on the depression discussions with me.
Yeah.
And what you shared so much wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine.